Ladies and gentlemen, before I begin the webinar on the rising future of international accounting professionals with management skills, there is a caveat here that we are, number one, recording this session. And second is that this session is being broadcast live from at least 4 different Facebook accounts right now. So that is to tell you that you have to put on your best smiles. You are live on television and the computer screen, so as to say right now. That is how it is. But welcome to this session of International Accounting Professionals with Management Skills webinar. We have with us our director, Dr. Chaturvedi. Dr. Harivansh Chaturvedi is an academician, basically. And before I go any further, I'd just like to add one more small point about the new education policy that has just been released. It has great many inputs and ideas as suggested by our director, and we were lucky that his ideas and suggestions have found a place in the new education policy. We also have with us our deputy director, Dr. Anupam Verma. We have with us Mohammad Sajid Khan, the head of international development, ACCA, that is Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, a global body of professional accountants. And he's into ACCA for almost 15 years now, and still going strong, I should tell you. Why? Because whenever an issue comes where I want someone to intervene on behalf of ACCA, first name that crops to my mind is Sajid, of course. We shall see how that proceeds further. We also would like to welcome Mr. Sarvesh Mathur, who's the director with the Global Distribution System with Ernst & Young. And he has very kindly agreed to stay with us for an hour, because even though he's in a different time zone, getting up early as probably 5 o'clock his time, but we are grateful that you're here. Many a times you come across a common refrain from our friends and well-wishers, particularly in the accounting fraternity, when they say that they have not got their dues from the corporate world. I mean, sounds slightly difficult, when someone says that, okay, I haven't been given my due by the corporate world, so as to say. Why is it so? And why this refrain comes in when, with some sort of a feeling of hurt, that I was worth something more, but somehow I wasn't given my due. The answers may vary in their tone and tenor, I mean, somebody might be enthusiastic about it, big deal, I don't give a damn about it. But the fact remains that there is a common thread that goes through all these answers, and that is there that somewhere down the line, either they missed out on upgrading their managerial skills, or they missed out on acquiring the management qualifications that would have ensured that such complaints did not come in the first place. Whatever may be the situation, at this moment, before I go forward, I would like to request Dr. Rahul Singh, a professor and chairperson of the PGDM Executive Program. Sir, kindly let us know as to why do we actually need the executive programs in management in conjunction with ACCA? I mean, management programs in executive, one can understand, but why is this in conjunction with ACCA, sir?
Sure. Thank you, Professor Priyadarshi. Once again, I would like to welcome our guest, Mr. Khan and Mr. Mathur. Thank you so much for giving your time and appearing for this webinar, as well as a great occasion that we are going to announce soon. I also can see some of the invited members who have joined us from ACCA in the list of Chinese. So welcome to those friends from ACCA, from industry, and also probably those who are watching us through the 4 broadcasting centers through different Facebook and YouTube channels. Coming to the point, what Professor Priyadarshi is asking to, we have been dwelling on the issues how skill sets like accountancy or audit, taxation, some of the skill sets related to the finance area, or the skill sets in the domain of digital and IT domain. They are very strong in their domain. How can they be given the leadership skills or the management skills where they combine their true potential to come in the management domain, right? So the issues, while you are developing yourself as a great skill set, can you also build yourself as a management person in sense, can you also develop yourself, orient yourself to be in tune of the organization, to be in peace with the decision making process and the leadership process. Okay, some of these issues we realized a few years back while we started the retail management program and the insurance business program in the country. And in a way, we became one of the first institutions, probably the first in the country, to start the insurance program. Why insurance industry or retail industry, while they can have their own skill sets, why should they have a management degree? And that's how we started combining. We didn't stop ourselves, and we went to sustainability domain, and courtesy and very able partnership with ACCA. And now we are developing international accounting, professional accounting domain. So we have case studies, we have a living case study, and we have history and experience of developing why management concept should combine with very strong skill concepts. And we have been successful in doing that. So when we approached ACCA with this, the team ACCA has been very kind, and we're thankful to team ACCA for accepting our request. And we work together to combine if management and the skill set of accounting, international accounting, can be put together to create something which helps those who are pursuing accounting alone or management alone to build a career in the joint domain. So this is the background in which we have been we developed some of the programs. But today's webinar is talking and extending the idea further. And you can see in the back that the webinar title is about rising future of international accounting professionals with management skills. So that's the program and the concept of the webinar coming up. Taking it forward, I'm back to you, Professor Priyadarshi, so that we can have more time with our guest today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Absolutely, thank you very much. And I personally felt that you were trying to instigate people in with coming out with their ideas coming out into the scene. So I'll just caution the panelists that Dr. Rahul Singh has actually spoken about those things, making it a point that he's instigating you people to come out with the specifics that we talk about. Now, sir. May I now request our director, Dr. Chaturvedi, to kindly inaugurate the session and welcome our guests, please, sir.
Thank you, Professor Pratik Priyadarshi, and it's my privilege to welcome our honored guest, Mr. Sajid Khan, Mohammad Sajid Khan Saab, Head International Development at ACA, and Sarvesh Mathur, Director, Global Delivery System, Ernst & Young. So we will definitely look forward to what is about the topic of the webinar, the rising future of international accounting, professionals with management skills. My faculty colleagues, Dr. Anupam Verma, Dr. Rahul Singh, Professor Pradeep Priyadarshi, and some other colleagues who are present on the Zoom platform to connect in this webinar, and some others who are connecting through Facebook. I would like to say that in India, Institute of Chartered Accountancy has been a popular destination for young talent from small cities. I hail from a small city, Mathura, which is near to Agra and Delhi also. And I know for last 50 years or so, the students after doing 12th, they prefer to do commerce. And they have been doing BCom very casually only to obtain the degree. And they are serious about doing chartered accountancy from India. And because of the only one reason, that the return on investment in chartered accountancy is much higher than any other professional discipline with MBA, engineering, medical science, dental science, and other things. So, hordes of students have been doing, and now the girls have started adopting chartered accountancy as the profession. So from small cities, and I know that there may be hundreds of small cities in our country, and cities like Jodhpur, Jaipur, Kota, maybe some cities in Gujarat. So in western part of India, there are good number of cities from where students have first preference for BCom. And while doing BCom they do for getting a degree, but they are pursuing Institute of Chartered Accountants. But recent years, I have heard that the students from India, they are also having awareness about ACCA course and CFA course from USA. They know only two international course, ACCA from UK and CFA from United States of America. So it is my great pleasure that BIMTech has thought about joining ACCA, which is very prominent, reputed global organization serving to the profession of accounting, finance, and also governance of the corporate sector. And I have been reading about ACCA's legacy and its history. It is astonishing to know that how many professional institutions in the world may be having this kind of profile, having more than 116 years history, having their network in 180 countries, having association with more than 7,500 recruiters, employers, having around 2,300,000 students, SCCA members, and 5.44 lakhs students. So it's a huge credibility of this body, which they might have earned naturally by serving the community, by serving the young talent for last 160 years. So it's a great privilege for BIMTech, and I'm an academician. So I think about accounting. Accounting used to be a very small thing 50 years back when I was studying. And we used to think that the role of accountant is to just keep record of it was conceived as bookkeeping. So in my early years in high school, we started learning commerce by knowing basics of bookkeeping. In +2, we have studied accounting. And later in BCom, of course, income tax and accounting and statistics, many more subjects. I think it's a global profession now. Accounting and finance, it's a global profession. And due to globalization, it has got lot of significance as well as big challenges. I think that during last few decades, there have been some complaints about many big companies, big consulting firms dealing with the accounting and auditing. They have faced problems because of their failure to know the manipulations or mismanagement or lack of corporate governance in some companies. But those companies have also corrected themselves. They have looked into and reinvented their moral code. And there are big companies working around the world and helping the corporate sector. I take one idea to just discuss with all of you, and today is not the time. But I would like to say that people like us who are very much worried about the sustainability futures of this planet, we want to know that the accounting or finance professionals should tell us that the accounting records should not only tell about the outcome of profit, they should tell us about the outcome of 3 Ps or the triple bottom line: people, profit, planet. So we are concerned that along with the profit, let us find out ways how to tell the world that so-and-so company, along with the financial profit, what they have been giving a surplus for people development and also for the development of the planet. Another thing we would like to say that the tendency of reporting quarter to quarter has not been appreciated very well around the world. So now people are talking about that this practice should be discontinued because it creates a false impression. Because in one quarter you may be showing a lot of good profit, in another you may not be showing good profit, and there can be some manipulations also. So these are some thoughts on which we will have some discussion later. Today, I would like to say that we have decided to have two programs with ACCA, PGDM Executive in International Accounting, and PGPM in International. Hopeful that from the young community of India, the students who are to take admission in these courses, who may be associated with ECA in their professional programs, they may be very positive about these two programs which we may be offering very soon. So I am glad that we have two prominent leaders from international accounting global community, and we would like to know their views on the topic of. Thank you once again to both Mr. Khan and Mr. Mathur.
Thank you very much, sir. In fact, the later part of your discourse would be taken care of by Sajid and Mr. Sarvesh Mathur. But for the earlier part, I can tell you, sir, that you are absolutely correct. The idea is that bookkeeping was actually considered to be a plain and simple statement of accounts, in the sense that expenses and income was there. Of course, things have changed now. So there's another thing that I wanted to point out at this stage was that when Mr. Sarvesh Mathur was talking about going to the school level, I know specifically in one of the particular webinars about a month back, when Ren was there and Krishan was there with me, we had engaged the students of DPS Bokaro CHAS, and that is where the students were actually communicated about the prospects of going in for an ACCA fellowship or an ACCA qualification. So, Mr. Mathur, sir, the idea is that going to the students, particularly at the school level, is absolutely in order, and this has already been initiated at this level at least. So I just wanted to update you on that. And now at this particular time, can I just request Mohammad Sajid Khan to please deliver his keynote address, please, sir?
Thank you, Dr. Pratik. Dr. Harivansh Chaturvedi, Dr. Anupam, Mr. Sarvesh Mathur, Dr. Rahul Singh, all other members of the BIMTech family, my colleagues, and dear future business leaders who have joined from all over the country and across, which are seeing this telecast using different media. A very good afternoon to you all. I hope you're keeping well. It's a matter of great pleasure for me to and an honor to be a part of this webinar on a very interesting topic. I'm also very excited because today, as we have just heard, that we'll be launching two programs along with BIMTech, and which are embedded with the ACCA qualification. I will certainly share some thoughts as to why we are launching that program in partnership with BIMTech. And also I will share our thoughts as to why we have been working very closely with BIMTech so far. And we look forward to working as well in the future. But however, before I do that, I just wanted to share some thoughts on the changing business landscape and the need for finance professionals to acquire this new skill set and competencies to be able to perform effectively and efficiently in this increasingly complex world. As you would agree with me that even before the impact of COVID, we have been facing times of unprecedented change. We could see drivers of change around us in action, like the increasing regulation. Dr. Chaturvedi just talked about business failures and audit failures, and hence the regulators had to come with more and more regulations. We have been also seeing about the changing expectation of the society from the accounting profession. The stakeholders are now more informed. They want more information from the professional accountants. And then globalization has been driving change. And above everything, we know that the digital technologies have been the major driver of change across all the business sectors. So all this has been changing the business landscape. And now we see COVID, which is come up as then another bigger driver of change, which is not only, of course, posing challenges for us, but also it is giving us opportunities to break out from our old habits and reimagine new ways of working in terms of increasing efficiencies and using technology to its best. So all these would mean that the businesses need to adapt to these changes, and they should not only focus on surviving, but also aim at thriving in testing times like this one. And if you're thinking how this can be done, I would like to share a real story of Brazilian soccer. So what happened in 1966 World Cup was that the Brazil team, it was eliminated in the first round, although they were the winners of the previous two tournaments. And star player Pele failed to perform in that tournament. And seeing all this, many wondered that the Brazil's glory days were gone forever. But what has happened in the next World Cup, which is 1970, surprised everyone. Not only the Brazil, won that tournament, World Cup, but with grace and style. And that 1970 particular team was adjudged as the best team ever. And of course, the name, the player of the tournament award went to Pele. So people looked at what were the factors behind this turnaround for this Brazil team, and they could think about, and they could look at and identify three areas. One is innovation. So the Brazil team created a unique style of attacking style of soccer. Then they had a very cohesive team, and finally third one was leadership at all levels. I think now, as we all the businesses reimagine everything, and we aim at surviving and thriving in these times, I think there is some food for thought for all of us from this story, where we all need to, of course, look at innovation. We have to have capable and cohesive teams, and of course, we need to have leadership at all levels. So, for businesses, in order to do this, I think what they need, of course, they need is professionals with the right skill set. And if you're wondering what that right skill set is, I would like to share what our research report called Professional Accountants the Future has to say about it some time ago. So the report says the finance professionals of today and tomorrow would need a blend of both business and finance skills. They need to be forward-looking, strategic thinkers with good communication skills. And the future for these professionals with these such skills is going to be very bright. And that is exactly what the topic of today, is referring to, the rising future of international accounting professionals with management skills. And this is the trend, if you, look carefully, that more and more now CEOs are from finance background, because people from finance background have a better understanding of the business, and of course, they're better CEOs than those without a finance background. Now, having understood the need for professionals with both accounting and management skills, you may be wondering, what is the best way of acquiring and developing these skills? Our answer to this question is the ACCA qualification, which, as you may be aware, has a very wide coverage of areas like accounting, finance, and management. And our Think Ahead approach, as our logo says, makes sure that our members have always got the most up-to-date knowledge and the skills required at the workplace. And as Dr. Chaturvedi has mentioned, ACC has got over 116 years of experience of doing this, because since our establishment in 1904, we have been helping accounting professionals to acquire skills that are required by the employers today and tomorrow. The programs that BIMTech is launching today, BGPM and BGPX, are fully embedded with the ACC qualification, which means all the contents of the ACC qualification will be covered in this new program. You may be aware that although ACC has been working with the top universities and colleges around the world and also in India, this is a unique offering that ACC has come up with BIMTech, keeping in mind the needs of the industry. And working with BIMTech, we are making sure that all the future business leaders studying here are fully supported at every step of the journey towards becoming finance professionals and business leaders. And when it comes to professionalism and focus on quality at BIMTech, we all know about it, and the more I say, I think the less it would be. So rather, I would just point out one fact, in fact, that ACCA, we are truly impressed and inspired by the ethos and values and legacy of the Birla family in the field of education. And in fact, coincidentally, we share our values. And this may be surprising for some of you. So let me tell you how. ACCA has got 3 values and BIMTech has got 3 values. We have got a value of integrity. So is BIMTech. They call ethics and integrity. We have a value of innovation. They have their own value called innovativeness and entrepreneurship. And we have a third value, which I would need to maybe explain a bit how it is aligned. We have been seeing and we highly appreciate the visionary leadership of Dr. Harivansh Chaturvedi and his entire team at BIMTech, who are genuinely interested in creating opportunities for all by removing artificial barriers, creating connections, and embracing diversity, which is nothing but exactly our third value at ACCA we call as inclusion. So with these shared values and common goal of developing complete finance professionals with global mindset, this all brings us ACCA and BIMTech further closer to each other. Before I conclude, I just wanted to thank BIMTech for this opportunity. I would like to reassure that ACCA highly values its partnership with BIMTech, and we look forward to working very closely to make the best possible contribution to the economic development of this great nation. Thank you for listening, and thank you, Pratik, for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Sajid. In fact, had we met somewhere outside, I would have asked you this question: "Ki ab rulaoge kya?" That is the kind of thing that you've talked about, and it actually touches each and every one of us here at BIMTech. Thank you very much for that. But before I move on to Mr. Mathur, I just have one question for you.
Yes, please.
How do you manage to get hold of all these stories at such short notices and explain it to everyone?
Well, it's a passion. It's a passion for to connect with people. We would like to it's our heart at our whatever we do. It's at our heart to give the opportunities to help people understand things in a simple way, and hence we would like to use stories and analogies, and that's how we use it. And you may have seen me interacting with the students as well. I try to make sure that I have that emotional connect with them, so they're making things easier for them.
Thank you very much, Sajid. In fact, I remember the visit of Helen and you when you were here in February at the campus itself, and it was such a morale booster to all of us, because suddenly, the campus was alive with the fact that we were planning to have some sort of an arrangement with ACCA working on going forward. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. And now, may I request Mr. Sarvesh Mathurji, the biggest challenge, sir, we have is that when we talk about such courses, and when we talk about what Dr. Chaturvedi and Sajid were talking about, the market reacts to such kind of introduction of thought processes and courses. Dr. Rahul was talking about the introduction of specific skill sets required, to go further, particularly for the accountancy part. Sir, what exactly is the reaction of the industry? How do you think the industry responds to a stimulus like this, sir?
Thank you, Dr. Pratik, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk to you and your students. I will first go back to Dr. Harivansh Chaturvedi's comments about how in old time and small towns, CA was a big thing. Even if we talk about today, we'll talk about ACCA, which is a global certification, but if we talk about the traditional Indian market, CA was one of the prestigious and is one of the prestigious qualification which people wants to have. I'm also happens to be a qualified chartered accountant from 1996, so long time back. But even today, in the Indian context, CA, everybody who is doing commerce wants to pursue CA. Then last few years, we have seen a lot of international qualification is entering the Indian market and offering the opportunities for Indian students to look for careers and to look for professional degrees, which can give them wings outside of India, because CA is an Indian qualification, is only recognized in India. When you move out of India, you need to have more global qualification. And I happen to work outside of India as well. I worked for 5 years in Middle East and then for 9 years in US. And when I was in US, I ended up doing CPA, which is Certified Public Accountant, equivalent of Indian CA, because for you to be working in an auditing firm in US, you need to have a local qualification. But one other fun fact I'll share about the CA qualification, which I think is still a stigma, and sometimes the older generation still feel that CA or ACCA is a very accounting-based qualification. My own brother-in-law used to call me a munshi. He says that you're a chartered accountant, you're a munshi who's just writing the books of the business houses. But that's not these qualification is all about. And the world is changing, and every organization is changing as to how they're redesigning the course curriculum and how they're making the professionals who are future ready and not about what they do right now. And we have a long-term association with ACCA. I'm in this role for last 10 years in India, and ever since I came to India from US, we've been talking to ACCA that how do we encourage the younger generation to take these qualifications, because it works very well for us. And we, as of now, we only hire accounting qualification-based professionals who are either CA or CPA or ACCA. But as the business is evolving and as our own method of delivery is evolving, we are looking at people who have a good mix of accounting and management skills. And some of you mentioned that many CEOs right now are with the finance background, because most of the companies are run based on financial information, and you can only make companies successful if your financial results are strong. And hence it is becoming more and more important for the audit committee members and board members to look for candidates who have a good mix of management skills and professional background and accounting background. And hence they look for people who have done some management degree, sometimes executive MBA, sometimes full-time MBA, with the basic degree of say ACCA and CPA. Now, I haven't done any management degree myself. I've attended lots of executive programs of few weeks and months, but I've not done any formal degree. But I realized over a period of time that a complement of both these professions, which is management skills and accounting, will take you in a long term, because then you have a solid foundation of your basic course. Like I'm a commerce graduate, BCom honors from Hansraj College, and then a CA. And then I've got all these management skills by going through various courses. And what we are seeing in the current profession or the current world is that people are looking for multidisciplinary skills at the joining levels. They want people to have a good complement of their core domain, which may be an accounting domain, and then top off with the management skills, because that combination gives them an edge when they start, because they bring a lot of different values on the organization. They bring a lot of different ideas to the organization. As Sajid talked about, a world is going digital, a lot of focus on data analytics as to how we can analyze the data we have and come up with a better result. Sajid talked about football in 1966, and if I can talk about cricket, which is my passion a lot, if you see all these cricket matches in IPL, more than half of the match is won based on the data available to the analyst who's sitting in the dressing room. They analyze how the batsmen have performed in last 100 matches, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses. They give those ideas to the bowlers to say, if you bowl at this line in length, and if you bowl, this is the weakness of this batsman, you can get him out very quickly. So there is a lot of focus on innovation and data analytics. And if we can include some of those ideas into the course curriculum, then the sky is the limit for professionals who are coming out from institutes like BIMTech, because even with COVID, we are still making a lot of growth. We are still hiring a lot of professionals. What we need from institute like BIMTech is to produce candidates who are future ready and whom we don't want to invest too much of time in training. Right now, what happens is when we hire students from colleges, we have to invest a lot in training. We have to take them to classroom training for 1 week, 2 weeks, and sometime for a month. We don't want to be in a situation. We want to work with institutes like ACCA. We have been working with Sajid and Kush and others to say how some of these skills which the professional organizations are looking can be incorporated into the course curriculum, so that when students come out, we feel that we can give them work from, say, day one, if not necessarily day one, from day 3 and day 4, and we don't have to wait for a month for them to learn all the tricks and techniques of the profession. So in that, it is very encouraging to see that BIMTech and ACC is working together to create a course where people are going to have both a combination of management skills and the accounting qualification. One other thing which COVID has taught us is we need to be prepared for scenarios which nobody has ever anticipated. The future leaders should be ready to take decisions in a highly uncertain environment. When this this came to India sometime in middle of March. Maybe there was like 7 or 8 days to take the actions. Between March 16 to March 24th, everything changed in India. We were working as normal. There was nothing. Everybody was aware that yes, COVID is spreading. We had maybe single digit or 3-digit cases in India. But by the time March 24th came up and we had this complete lockdown, we realized we are entering into a completely new paradigm of how to operate in this uncertain world. We were in a complete lockdown for almost 6 weeks. Every organization took the decision of working from home, and every organization before this used to think that unless you have a human touch, you just cannot have a successful business. But after 24th of March, we have realized that we are doing these webinars. We used to go to colleges and we used to talk to students live, but now we are doing many of these webinars and realize that they're still successful. We are able to deliver the message. The students are able to absorb what we are teaching them and what we are telling them. They're able to ask the questions, and the education system has not stopped. Education system is still going on. So we have learned a lot from this COVID. I hope that for many people, at least who are in this panel, this is the lifetime experience. Hopefully we don't have to experience this again, because history suggests this is once in 100 years, and the age which we are, I'm sure this will be the last time we will experience it. But many students, it is possible that they may experience something similar in their long-term career as well. But we have learned so much from this pandemic that it only teaches us that we need to be innovative, we need to be open for change, and it is not about any traditional career for people. If you look at my career, I did my commerce from schooling, I joined the BCom, I joined CA. It was a very traditional way of doing a CA, whereas right now, people may not be studying commerce, they may be doing science, or they may be doing art subject in their school. Then they sign up for ACCA, they sign up for MBA program, they sign up for a joint program, and that is the skill we are looking for. We are not looking for any traditional skills for future hiring. We are looking for people who are inquisitive. We are looking for people who bring analytical mindset. We are looking for people who are open for change. We're looking for people who are open to acquire hot skills and new skills. Even at my age, I'm looking for new skills every day. We have a program in EY which talks about EY badges, where you can sign up for data analytics program, you can sign up for visualization on the Power BI or some of the new technology. And irrespective of your age, whether you're a 20-year-old person or a 40-year-old person, you can get a badge and you can say it on LinkedIn that you have these skills on these subjects. So we are focusing a lot in how do we hire people with different skill. I'll also give you one example. A few years back, one of our clients approached us, which was a large retail store in UK, and says that, how do we increase some of our sales? We see a lot of incoming people coming up during daytime, and our sales at a high peak in daytime. When it comes to night, we are a 24/7 store. When it comes to night, our sales are very minimal. If there are different ways where you as a professional firm can suggest some ideas as to how to increase the sales in night. And we sent our consulting team to look at various data points, to look at various feeds through CCTV camera to see what kind of people are coming in the night, what kind of purchases is happening in the night. And you'll be interesting to see the outcome of that study was very unique. They came back and says, based on all the CCTV cameras, we say, a lot of men are coming in the night to buy the diapers because their wives are forcing them to say, the kid is crying or we are finished with the diaper, you need to go and buy the diaper. And they are quite frustrated because they have to go out of in the night to buy the diapers. That is their time for rest. They have spent a lot of time during daytime working and they're tired, but they still have to come out in the night to buy the diapers. And what can we complement with the diapers so that the sale goes up? And we suggested that you keep the beer next to the diaper. And the retail store actually did it, and their sales went up manifold because in that tiredness of mind and frustration, the man came to stores, they bought the diaper, and immediately they saw the beer, and this is one of the ways for me to de-stress myself, and they bought cans of beer, and all of a sudden the sale of that store went up many times. So this gives an example that if you think outside of the box, and if you apply data analytics mindset, you can do wonders. And with the courses which you are offering and with the collaboration with ACCA, I think a lot of your students will get benefit of getting this different skills and deep skills into various topics. And they can be really future ready professional firms like us or any in the other industry which will come to BIMTech in future for hiring, they will be the hot commodity for us to take, and then they'll be ready for us to take us to the next level.
Thank you very much, sir. And in fact, if I were to just latch on to the last part of your comment, what you were suggesting was that students passing out from our end would be hot commodity for your organization. I hope people are taking a note of this, because one of our future recruiters at this moment has committed this to us. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, before I move forward, there was a very specific point that he talked about, was about transparency and innovations and things like this. I just wanted to let you know and apprise you that even during the COVID period, we at BIMTech had taken a decision that this was the time when people who wanted to reskill themselves, they could go in for it. And as a policy decision, BIMTech decided to arrange with Coursera and IBM, that the faculty members and students who wanted to take up certification courses, and the organization bore the entire expenses for it. So you are absolutely correct when it comes to a situation like this, that a COVID-like thing happening in 100 years, but we at BIMTech were ready to tackle it, sir. And sir, I just have one question to Dr. Rahul Singh, sir. Sir, we have been discussing about values, virtues, reskilling, and the market reaction coming to it, sir. Sir, how do you think we should be designing our curriculum, particularly the mode of delivery in such a confused, difficult situation, sir?
Okay, so I can share the way we have conceptualized it, of course, and also the way we have read it before conceptualizing it. So we did our small bit of research. We have seen the effectiveness of the way Coursera has been doing it, or edX has been doing it, and also the Swayam, which is the Indian platform of the similar courses. The conceptualization which went in our academic delivery is we are going to deliver it online. However, online content is going to be recorded for the preparation, along with the material which students are going to read in the PDF format. I'm talking about the online course right now, which would be supported by the live teaching. So the online material, the video support of the material, and the live teaching is what we have planned to deliver the course, to ensure that we are not leaving the candidate only through the process of self-learning, self-paced learning. I think, Mr. Mathur, you mentioned about, sometimes people can get bored while they are just going through the self-paced content. And this is something that we have tried to conceptualize, where self-paced content and the live classes and the evaluations on the way with the case studies, because when we are delivering the management skills, we also need to integrate with the different levels of evaluations and degree and the difficulty level of evaluation. So we use a lot of case studies and simulations. So our pedagogy, the portfolio is about the content, the video content, the evaluation from the 5-6 methods assignments that we do, and the live classes. This is to ensure that what we are communicating, what we are delivering is received well and tested well. So the analytics also goes in the same way. So we are partnering to an organization which is called Sunway, which has great analytics outcome, indicating if I'm weak in certain area, how weak I am and how can I recover if I want to give attention to it. So thank you, Professor Priyadarshi, for raising this question. I think this highlights on the systems and pedagogy that we are going to build in. We have already built in actually in the program. On the PGDM executive, which is full-time, it's absolutely clear that this is full-time, with high rigor on ACCA courses and the management courses. And this has a certain global level and Indian consulting exposure too. When I'm saying consulting, I mean the real consulting management kind of course and experience in the industry. But not only limited to Indian experience, we have added the global immersion program in that. I understand we cannot do it in present circumstances, but it is in the plan. If time permits, even the first batch is going to have the global immersion program. We have great partners who are in the top 50 executive education list of the World Business School ranking, like in France, Sketch Business School, and the Cologne in Germany. And we are planning to talk to these institutions to host our participants. So and of course, we will always go back to ACC, our partners, and would like to have their inputs too. How do we take the global immersion program forward so that we have a great mix of business skills and the accounting expertise? So these are some of the things I was motivated to share while Professor Priyadarshi asked this question. How are we creating design and pedagogy for two different programs? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. In fact, there was a thought process going in my head that had you not talked about these, probably I would have taken the initiative to talk about it, because without this discussion, without this specific aspect being talked about, the entire discussion would not have been complete, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, now may I request Dr. Anupam Verma, our Deputy Director, to formally, as we say, traditional and formal launch of the ACCA partnership along with the program. Sir.
Thank you so much, Pratik ji. Respected Mr. Mohammad Sajid Khan ji, Mr. Sarvesh Mathur, our director, Dr. Chaturvedi, Dr. Rahul Singh, Pratik Priyadarshi ji, honored guests and faculty colleagues, good evening to you all. It is a matter of great happiness that a global organization like the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, the ACCA, chose BIMTech for their strategic partnership in launching a joint certified course for the chartered accountants. The PGPX International Accounting and the PGD and the PGPM course will have the best of expertise from the ACCA and the best of faculty from BIMTech. A mixture of accountancy and management skills will ensure that the students who pass this examination, this joint certificate examination that is, will be ready to take on the world, literally, because they can operate out of any country and for any country. Now, quoting Mr. Sajid Khan, like a Brazilian soccer team, which in 1970, after their defeats in 1966, acquired new skills of innovation, cohesiveness, and leadership at all levels, brought the success. They got the success because of these new skills. And Mr. Mathur giving example about cricket. Our association with ACCA, I'm sure success will have to be there. It was a revelation to me to know that the values of ACCA and BIMTech are common. The integrity, the transparency, innovation, inclusiveness, very impressive, very impressive. With so much in common, there is no chance of failure if both ACCA and BIMTech join hands, which they are doing today. It is just about 5-6 months when we had the privilege to host Miss Helen Brand, OBE, a chief executive of ACCA, along with Mr. Sajid, head of the international development at BIMTech. In principle, we had decided to go ahead then with the academic programs on a joint certification basis. This project has fructified today, and with the launch of 2 programs, and we express our gratitude to the entire team of ACCA for our partnership. This partnership of ACCA and BIMTech, I do hope, will pave way for many more successful projects in future for our mutual benefit. Well, that's all I say, and I wish everybody all the best. And I'm sure this partnership is going to be really very, very beneficial to both the parties. So thank you all.
So thank you very much, sir. Sir, before I sort of get to say thank you and conclude kind of thing, sir, please forgive me, but Dr. Rahul Singh, I have one more question for you. I had initially thought I would be grilling Sajid, but it seems today is your day to respond to questions. You know, what about the certification bodies, that certify institutions like ours, or maybe, we are moving into that kind of situation. Can you talk about it, sir, please?
Yeah, okay. I think when we look at the quality, I would like to thank Sajid Ji for that. He talked about the kind of legacy ACCA has and the way the quality of the programs and courses in ACCA have been developed. We have learned a lot while going through the process of accreditation by ACCA, something that we have been following. I think one thing that I can say is the quality norms. We are now undergoing training for understanding how practitioners look at the quality. And that's a great learning for us. While we understand what academic and theoretical inputs are, and they are very important as well, because theorizing information is equally important when you're going in industry. You don't just play on the information, you need to theorize information to get into the leadership boot. So we understand that, and I think I can mention here that we are almost on the last leg of ACSP accreditation, which is the world toughest and most prestigious accreditation in business education. While we have the national accreditations with the highest grade, that's how we are Category 1 institution in the country, and there are only 2 business schools in the country which are Category 1. That is XLRI and BIMTech. So from the management and business case point of view, quality is very high, but thankful to the team of ACCA for training us on the practice quality. So I think with this, we would be able to ensure that we are not only delivering the great academic quality, but also great practice quality. Thank you for asking this question.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, before I conclude, there is one very important fact that needs to be highlighted at this stage, sir. Even at our side of the entire scenario, our finance team was working relentlessly on n number of factors that we had assigned them jobs for meeting the criteria of the ACCA. On the ACCA side, there were n number of people working, and in particular, I would like to name a few if people don't take it otherwise and miss out on somebody's name. People like Kush Ahuja was there, then Pooja, Pallavi, Ren, Krishan Mishra, Prabhanshu. So these were the people with whom we were interacting almost on a daily, weekly basis. And not once did we ever get this feeling that they were tired of us. Thank you very much for bearing with us all this while. And I would like to specifically mention my finance team, our tutors and faculty members who worked on this, particularly for the questions that we had asked them to do. Girish Jan Saab, Ashok Malhotra Saab, Ankur, Meena Bhatia, n number of all these people were there. It's difficult for me to recollect their names right now and mention it. But before I conclude, I would like to thank each one of you who has made an impact in ensuring that we are here today at this stage. Thank you very much. And therefore, I would like to thank our director, Dr. Chaturvedi, Sajid, Sarvesh Mathurji, Dr. Anupam Verma, and all our viewers and participants and attendees who were here. Some of our faculty colleagues were also there. Thank you very much for being with us at this stage, and we look forward to updating you on our developments. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sajid Bhai. Thank you, Mathur Saab.
Thank you. Thank you.
We shall meet again.
Thank you, sir.
Certainly.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thanks a lot.